What's good? Welcome to this presentation. This is Trey, and today I'm going to talk about the psychology of what women find irresistible in a man. And it's not good looks, it's not, a lot of money, it's not super high status. It's a way of behaving, a way of carrying yourself. I was able to test this out in my own life because I had this false idea that women were looking for pretty boys at one point. So literally what I would try to do is I would try to make myself as good looking as possible. Like that was my strategy on how to get women. Before and this is after I realized that the nice guy thing that doesn't work, because that was the first thing I tried, try to be a nice guy, right? Obviously that doesn't work. So the next thing I thought, okay, well, I had some friends that were good looking and they were getting girls. So I was like, okay, so maybe the way to get girls is to just be really good looking or as good looking as possible. So I focused on that for some time, but I realized that can only get you so far because there's always going to be another dude that's more good looking, especially if you don't really got it like that. Like if you're not super good looking, you can't play that game. That's not a, you're going to lose that game, right? So what is the game you can play? What can you develop? What can any man develop that is actually irresistibly attractive to women? Well, what I found is, they people say, oh, confidence. Confidence is that thing that gets women. And yeah, they're right, but what does it mean to be confident, or what is that characteristic or that way of behaving that signals confidence in a man? And for me, it comes down to one thing. It comes down to grounded masculinity, grounded masculine energy. Because when you interact with a woman, there's energy. The energies are interacting, right? Your masculine energy is interacting with her feminine energy. Now, what's going to happen is if your masculine energy is grounded, she will naturally go into her feminine energy and be receptive, you know what I mean, if she's available, right? But if your masculine energy is not grounded, meaning it's all over the place or it's non-existent, or you don't even have a concept of masculinity, it's just going to be a platonic interaction or platonic relationship. It's not going to go anywhere because it's not going to be, the energies are not going to interact, right? Like attraction is created by masculine energy and feminine energy coming together and attracting each other. If you don't have no masculinity, and if it's, especially if it's not grounded, and when I say grounded, I mean it's like the masculine energy, meaning you're proactive. So you're proactive, you're assertive and proactive in your communication, in your behavior, in your actions, and you don't react, right? So if a woman communicates to you, let's say she tries to test you, she says something to throw you off your game, like, oh, one of the shit tests that I get a lot is sometimes I'll approach older women and they'll say, oh, you're too young for me. How do you pass that shit test? It's not about coming up with something clever. It's about staying grounded in your masculinity. When she says, oh, you're too young for me, I just don't react. I just say, if anything, I'll just say, oh, I disagree. Or I'll say, um, I love older women. That's my dating range. I usually date women from 30 to 45 or so. I'll just say something, but it's not about being clever or trying to say something cool. It's just I'm not reacting. I'm just grounded in my masculinity. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I'm doing, and I'm not timid about it. I'm not unsure. So that signals grounded masculinity, and she can naturally go into her feminine energy, and that's where attraction's created, because you can't just fake being grounded in your masculinity. You see what I'm saying? So she'll know that you either must have some experience, or you're mature in some way, or you have some kind of confidence coming from somewhere. There's gonna be some interest, there's gonna be some intrigue, because she's gonna wonder, why are you so relaxed? Why are you so grounded? Why are you so, You know what I mean? Present to the moment when most guys are not. So that's gonna create attraction, because what you're signaling on a DNA level, if we're gonna look at it, on a DNA level or like a natural level, nature's the game that's being played on nature's level, right? The nature's code, there's like a code being played, in regards to sexual selection and survival and replication. And when you demonstrate grounded masculinity, you're demonstrating survival value. You're demonstrating that you must be surviving and even thriving, because how would you be so relaxed in front of her? Like, how would you be so calm and so chill? And how are you not? Why don't you have her on a pedestal like every other guy, right? You must be experienced. You must be successful. You must be getting women. And so that's gonna create attraction, because of what is attraction? Attraction is just interest. She's gonna be interested, like, not to say that she's already, right away gonna want to have sex with you, but she's gonna be interested, like, what the fuck? Now, that's how you beat the good-looking guy, because a lot of times the good-looking guy, he thinks that's all he needs to get the girl, which that's not true, because being good-looking will get her attention, but then what happens after that? If she communicates to him and he demonstrates that he's, not grounded, he's not assertive, he's not proactive, he's not comfortable in his own skin, stuff like that, she's gonna lose attraction for him immediately, right? And if she, if she has a lot of options, she's not gonna go with him. She's not gonna do it, right? The only way she'll do it is if he just happens to be the best option. So let's say he's really good looking, and his good looks are so great that it overpowers everything else. That in that case he may get the girl. But even then, as I said, over time the looks thing is not gonna hold her attention, right? So what will hold her attention is grounded masculinity, because grounded masculinity creates a feeling in her. It's a feeling of, it's okay for you to be feminine around this man. And guess what? That's her nature, to be feminine, right? That's her nature, to be receptive and submissive and all these great things. But only if a man is grounded enough to handle her feminine energy. Only if a man is masculine enough to handle her feminine energy. If not, if he can't handle her, then she is forced to go in and be masculine, which she doesn't want to be. That's not her nature. It's kind of like a man. A man naturally wants to be masculine, right? And if he finds himself in a situation where he's having to be feminine, he's going to feel like something is wrong, because that's not his nature, okay? And I'm speaking from experience, because I used to be, very passive and shy and, inhibited in my communication. And I always knew something was wrong with that, like something felt off about it. And now I know what it was. It's because I wasn't tapped into my masculine energy. So I felt like I wasn't tapped into my nature. But nature wants masculine men to mate with feminine women, and nature wants grounded masculine men to mate with feminine women. Now, the more grounded and masculine you are, the higher quality of women you'll be able to attract. Because think of a high caliber woman as someone with a lot of energy, a lot of feminine energy, right? She's more experienced. She knows, she's dealt with a lot more men. So she comes with a lot more energy, right? You might say she comes with a lot more communication skills, a lot more wisdom, whatever. But all that is energy. So she comes with more feminine energy. And if you can't contain that energy, if you can't handle it, she's gonna look at you and be like, okay, this guy is not he's not strong enough to mate with, or he's not strong enough to lead me, he's not strong enough to handle me, so therefore I should not mate with him, or I should not give up my replication value to this man. So essentially what I'm telling you here is the quality you want to develop is grounded masculinity. How do you develop this quality? You develop this quality by living as a masculine man. That means being assertive in life, being proactive, going after what you want, living a life of purpose, being certain in who you are, and just making shit happen, being action oriented. But learning how to handle challenges, right? You become grounded the more challenges you're able to handle and overcome, because as you handle challenges and overcome obstacles and stuff like that, what happens is you start to become more relaxed. You start to become more comfortable, more secure, more at ease, because you've proven to yourself time and time again that you've been able to handle different shit, whether it's women's shit tests, whether it's just life testing you, whether it's other men testing you, just you going out and having lots of experiences. A man needs to go out and live. A man needs to go out and take risk. You're not supposed to stay comfortable. You're not going to become grounded in your masculinity by staying comfortable. You have to go out and test yourself and challenge yourself and go through all types of different shit, because when you go through that, that's what's gonna lead to more grounded masculinity. That's what's gonna lead you to being more centered and more conscious, because you're not gonna be so stuck in your head, because you're gonna know that you can handle whatever's happening. So you'll just relax and be more in your body, more centered, because as I said, you have these references to back up your confidence, right? To back up your grounded masculinity, right? If you've handled a lot of shit, if you've overcame a lot of challenges, and you've achieved success in different ways, you have a reason to be more relaxed. You have a reason to be less tense, less rigid, less, just like strict and robotic. It's like you could chill. It's like if you look at people who are seasoned in something, you notice, just look at their body language, how they carry themselves. Like, for example, a basketball player that's been to the finals plenty of times. Look how he carries himself on the basketball court. He's just more relaxed because he knows his worth. He knows his value. He knows how much he has achieved and what he's done and what he's overcome. And so he's going to be more relaxed versus the rookie. The guy who's never played in the finals or whatever. You're going to see he's going to look more nervous. He's going to try to, obviously he's going to try to hide it and shit. But if you really in tune with this stuff, you'll notice. So no, he's nervous. He's not as poised or not as centered. And obviously you'll notice this with like older masculine men. You'll just notice they carry themselves with a certain presence, right? You could just tell, like, yo, this man, he been through some shit. And then you could just see it in his demeanor, in his eyes. Like, he looks at people. It's a chill, gentle look, but there's also, like, you can tell there's danger in his eyes too. Like, you don't want to test him, or you don't want to get him angry, right? So but there's like a relaxedness though in his eyes too, so it tells you, like, okay, this guy, he done been through some shit, and he knows he can just chill out right now because he knows he can handle whatever happens in this environment, right? That's what being grounded is. It's just knowing that you can handle whatever's happening in the environment. So now when you interact with a woman and she's communicating with you, and she senses that you are relaxed, that you are grounded, that you're able to handle whatever can happen in the environment, guess what's going to happen? She is going to feel like she can be feminine. What does it mean to be feminine? It means to let go. It means to stop trying to be so perfect and stop trying to be so serious and all this shit, and just let go and have fun and have a good time, because she knows that you are grounded and masculine enough to protect her in the environment. Right? So that actually being grounded in your masculinity, not only does it create attraction, but it also creates comfort with a woman, because she feels like she can trust you. Right? So when you're nervous and tense and unsure of yourself, she feels like, I don't know if I could trust this guy. He's not even like comfortable in his own skin. He's not even sure of himself. So how can he lead me? Like, a man is supposed to be able to lead a woman. So how the fuck is a man supposed to lead a woman if he can't lead himself? If he's unsure of himself, doesn't even make sense. But most men are like, a lot of men are not sure of themselves, right? A lot of men, have women on pedestals, and actually they seek women to make them feel good about themselves. They seek women to help them achieve security within themselves. They seek women to experience love. You got to take care of all these things for yourself first, man. I'm trying to tell you. You got to love yourself first. You got to become secure with yourself through your own efforts, through your own actions, right? Not because of another woman. Like you can't like have like imagine a container, and then it's like 75% full, and then you're seeking out a woman to fill up the rest. It's like that's wrong, bro. Because then if you lose the woman, then what happens? You go back to 75%. Now you're empty again, or you feel like something's missing again, right? So instead, the ideal is like, okay, take care of yourself. Get to a place where you feel whole, where you're happy with your life, you're happy with who you are. And then when you go and meet a woman, it's more about just exchanging good energy. It's exchanging your happiness, exchanging your joy, your passion for life. And she sees that and she's like, wow, this guy, he's already happy, he's already whole, he's already grounded and living a great life without me. So I know that he's not trying to get something from me necessarily. You know what I mean? It's more so, let's share the experiences of life together. And so for her, she feels like, if she gets with you, she can follow your lead, right? Like this is a guy I could follow his lead because look at his strength, look at his confidence, look how he's grounded, look how he carries himself, right? Versus a guy who, he could be super good looking, but if he's looking at her and he's like, he wants to have sex with her so bad, or he like looking at her like, oh, I need her in my life and this and that. She's like, okay, here goes another boy, right? Here goes like, what is a boy, right? What would her child? What is it like when she has a child? The child needs her. She has to take care of the child. She has to be there for the child. And guess what? She has to go into her masculine energy. But a man is supposed to be the rock for the relationship. The man is supposed to be strong. He's supposed to, if anything, when she needs somebody, she's supposed to be able to go to him, right? But he can only be this way if he's grounded, right? If he's secure in himself, if he's confident in himself, right? And nature, God, the universe, whatever you call it, nature wants that man to mate with women, right? Because that man will basically be the type of man who, let's say they were to have kids, that's the type of man that's going to be able to take care of their kids. That's the type of man that's going to make sure things get done, right? They have the right resources, right? They have whatever they need to survive, right? Nature only cares about survival and replication, okay? So whatever man is demonstrating the highest level of survival, that is the man who should mate with whatever woman we're talking about, okay? And nature will actually, trigger the right emotions to bring these two together, bring the masculine and feminine together, right? And if it's the opposite, if the man is not demonstrating grounded masculinity, nature will trigger the woman with emotions for her to be repelled by him, so she doesn't give him her replication value. Because if she gave that her replication to that guy, her replication value to that guy, she's actually putting herself in a low survival position. Okay? And this is what's going on below the surface of whatever game is being played, like the social construct that we've been given by society. That's what's happening on the surface, but below the surface is what I'm talking about. The DNA level, the stuff now we're dealing with, those strong, powerful emotions, right? Because, sexuality, the game of life is basically sexuality, man. I mean, that's why sex sells, right? Because there's this strong desire that's in every man and woman to survive and replicate. There's a strong desire in a man to mate with the woman who has the highest replication value, meaning the most beautiful woman, or physically healthy woman that he can get with. And a woman has a strong desire within her to get with the most highest survival man she can get with. So meaning the man who can elevate her quality of life the best. Okay, and that's based on her perception. So that's why what may work with one woman may not necessarily work with another woman because of her perception, right? Like what one woman perceives to be high survival value, another woman might not, depending on their situation and their circumstances, right? So you have to have the intelligence to see that with each woman. But at the core, if you demonstrate grounded masculinity, there will be some form of attraction, okay? And then, depending on how much of that you can demonstrate, how much grounded masculinity you can demonstrate, it will increase the attraction, and how often and how many situations you can demonstrate that. Because some men can be grounded in their masculinity in some situations, but other situations it goes out the door. So you want to be that guy who's able to stay grounded in his masculinity in pretty much any situation. So that's why you need to go out there and live life. Go out there and have experiences. Go out there and be challenged. Go out there and make mistakes. Go out there, and have some trials and tribulations and put yourself through trial and error. But if you come out of that alive, you come out of that with more power. You'll come out of that with more groundedness. And you'll come out of that more attractive. Okay. So that's the advice for today. If you're a man watching this and you want more wealth, you want more power, and you want more women, join the Masculine Throne. I'll drop a link to the group in the comment section, and I'll see you inside. Peace.